Hello, this is Google Frog with a tutorial slash showing off video for the new circle guard command, which was recently suggested by Ivory King. There's been a few widgets which do this, but this one's better because it's a gadget, and gadgets are better at doing things. And it probably does a lot more, although it's all going to be very obscure. So, firstly, here's the basic usage. You've got your commander here, with a bunch of glaives circling around it, protecting it from scuttles and ultimatums and cloaked stuff which is trying to get to it. The way you give this command is just cancel it. Is you press G, or you could press the button there, but you should really press G. G is good. Hold your mouse over a unit and click and drag and make a circle. They'll then figure themselves out and walk in that circle. If you make a small circle, you get a smaller command. And they figured themselves out. I thought that circle was too small for them to figure, but it worked. So you can't just run click and drag, because that would turn into a line move command. It's got to be this way because you wouldn't want to be microing your units and suddenly give a guard command because you wanted a move command. You'd be really disappointed if your units suddenly stopped and guarded each other. That would be counterproductive. You also have to put a unit at the center, otherwise the command doesn't know what to guard. If you do a guard command with no unit in the center, then you get an area guard command where all the units that were given the command guard all the units that were in the circle. So that also has other uses. Final thing about giving it, it's a bit difficult for mobile units because the command goes off when the mouse releases, which is a bit unfortunate. But there you go. So I timed it right and I got the commander in the command. So these glaives are all trying to match speeds they're all trying to keep at the same angle. If you get some more unit types, say these fast units like Banshees, they'll sort themselves into the circle. Eventually everyone will figure out where they're supposed to be. Or maybe if I give them both the command, they'll be at the same radius. And now the Banshees are moving a bit slowly compared to the glaives. Sorry, compared to their ordinary speed. If you put the Banshees in the middle of the circle, they're going to move really slowly because everyone's trying to keep the same relative angle. And if you put them out the outside, they've got further to go, but they've got more speed, so they'll all be happier and move at the same speed, and move at their desired speed. But what if you've got a really slow unit? So if I put this sumo in the circle, then it's going to, it wants to be over here, so it's got to figure out that first. But everyone's moving really slowly because they're all trying to keep the same angle. As you can see, the angle's now pretty much set, and so the sumo has really messed everything up. Unless, of course, you wanted your units. You didn't care how fast they go. But if you do care how fast they go, you can make the command ignore a unit. So if you give the command with Control held down, then the units with Control will ignore everybody else's speeds, and the units without Control will all move as a clump still. See, this sumo's moving quite slowly compared to everyone else now. A downside of the Control command is that units don't organize themselves into a nice circle. So if I give Control for these glaives, they'll clump up, which won't be good, because then you can sneak in possibly a cloaked unit from the side. Notice, however, that these glaives are going at their full speed all the way around and around the commander, whereas this glaive's got to go more slowly because it's further out. Sorry, angular speed, I should have said. So that's the two commands: the guard command, which is just G on a unit, and the guard, but I don't care about anybody else's speed command, which is G with Control held. So there's a related command at the same time, which protects a direction. you give this command by holding Alt, and okay, you press G, put your mouse over the center and hold Alt while the mouse is being released. And this will form a protective concave around your unit. This is also quite useful in the case of fleas because they'll stay cloaked. So the fleas will stick to that direction and that radius and protect the commander from things coming from the left. This could be quite useful because you'll often not expect any attack, rightly so, from behind you. So you might only have enough units to protect one of your flanks. So if you notice, these fleas are on the left. They're always going to stick on the left, which is good for the fleas because they never have very far to walk, but you might want your commander to move in lots of different directions and protect him from the front. So what you can do is G again, Alt and Control makes a directional shieldy guard command, where I gave this command in this direction while the commander was facing this way, so these glaives are going to keep the relative facing of this commander. So now if I move over here, the glaives have quite a distance to walk and stick in front of the commander. If I move over here, they've got a distance to walk again. So they've got to move further, and if your command jitters around a lot, then they'll just all get confused, where these fleas are sitting pretty. But it could be quite useful. Probably especially useful if you have a shield and you want to protect it with something just underneath the shield, some kind of riot unit. So those are the 4 methods of giving the guard command, probably because there are only 4 ways of combining Control and Alt. You've got the no modifiers and they'll just walk around in a circle. With Control, they'll ignore everybody else's speed and they won't make a nice pattern. They'll just walk around as fast as they can. With Alt, you'll protect the commander from a certain direction, say down there. And with Control and Alt, you'll protect it, keeping its relative facing. So this command is being protected on its right, so our left at the moment, by these glaives. There's a few. Now it's a minor thing. So I've got these banshees, and they're going anti-clockwise. Now for some reason you might not want that. I'm not sure why anyone would care about the direction, but it was something that could be done. So if you don't like the direction of your units, get all of your circling units and tell them to wait. Then unweight them and they'll move in the other direction. That obviously wasn't long enough. Unweight, so tell them to wait. Oh no, it's this guy. Now you unweight. In fact, you have to do everyone. So, can I get these banshees to go? Yes, they're now going clockwise, as I wanted for some reason. This is the same as just telling the unit to not be guarded by anyone, and then guarding it again. Now the banshees should go counterclockwise. So, if you're a very weird type of micromanager, you might find a use for this. That maybe holds for the guard command in general, although it was fairly easy to implement, so no harm done really if nobody uses these weird commands. Although I can see it would be quite useful for protecting your commander from scuttles. There's one nifty thing you can do with it, which is over here. I've got a factory. You can queue guard commands for the factory even. So I've got, this guy didn't receive the command, but this guy, he's now going to walk around this glaive. And if you keep looking, this factory is actually just providing this unit with a constant stream of buffering, which is really actually quite useful. You could just put a dirtbag factory on repeat and make it follow, like a detriment if you're at that stage of the game, and suddenly the ultimatums wouldn't be able to get to them. The new units come in all the time, it confuses the other units a bit, but that doesn't really matter. So that is all there is about the guard command, the circle guard command. It's, as I said, it's quite obscure, but it could be useful. So, I've been Google Frog, thanks for listening.